All right, where's my oxygen? Where's my cannula? I had it here somewhere. More important, though, where's my co-host of Aztecs All In? Steve Perez here, Louis Weiner, somewhere. We have a few bits about the football and basketball programs to lay it on you before we join the rest of the so-called elites in that K-shaped economy out there. Speaking of elites, none more so than Mr. Weiner. He's here somewhere. Oh, Louis.
I am here, Steve. How are you? Good to hear your voice. We haven't had a show since the post. Well, we don't want to talk about that. But what we do have coming up, defense returns to the Aztecs basketball team in a win at Viejas. We'll talk all about that.
Okay, looking forward to that. I know you've talked about wanting to chat about football, and there is plenty to chew on, starting with that whole title game computer
fiasco
mathematics scenario that left the Aztecs on the outside looking in and putting Tater State and the gambling state in the title game. So go ahead, have at it in this space right here.
Well, my feelings are metrics should never decide anything. And, remember they used to have the two different conferences, right? The two different divisions. Yeah, and the winner of each of those would go up against each other, and that way you knew who it was going to be. Well, when they got rid of that and just made it one big conference with no divisions, this was bound to happen. And I think the Aztecs just got caught up in a situation they had no control of, and they just got bit in the butt, and nothing really they can do about it. What they could have done about it, Steve, was won the game in New Mexico. So, you can complain all you want about the metrics, but everybody knew the rules going in, and it was a crapshoot, and unfortunately, they ended up crap.
No, it wasn't a crapshoot at all. They had it in their hands, had a chance, double overtime, multiple opportunities. The coaches have looked back on all that, and the players too. I'm done. You through?
Well, just to say that it was a really fun season, 9-3. They still have one game left. It'll be a bowl game. We'll find out about that on Sunday. And a very unexpected season. I didn't expect 9 wins. I don't think you did either. And despite how it all ended, you have to look back at it as being a season where the Aztec football team took a step up in the Sean Lewis era. And we'll see where it goes from here.
Okay. Now are you through?
Yes, I am through.
Okay, let's get to that football wrap-up.
Fact remains, Aztecs had their chances to win the game against New Mexico and be part of championship weekend, render all that Schmetrics stuff academic, but they did not. Went over the vast majority of reasons in our post-game cast a week ago, and so Aztecs move on from that, learn from the experience, await their bowl game assignment in the coming week, and look ahead after that to life in the Pac-12, where the conference travel schedule will be perhaps a bit more manageable. To that end, Coach Lou met up with the media on Wednesday. We thank the institution's official YouTube channel for bringing us the wit, wisdom, and various other thoughts from Coach Lou. He gave us a bit of a season recap, went into his overview of the recruiting and vision for the program going forward. Most immediately, the Aztecs are playing in a postseason bowl by virtue of their 9-3 record. And that gives them a chance to continue working together with this group and also an eye toward the future and the goal of notching double-digit wins on the season. Wednesday, Lewis did not rail against the pointy heads and their computers, instead owning the half-dozen plays that could have changed everything against New Mexico. That game, history, but the coach and his players still in the midst of maybe taking that one back and turning some things over. But the bottom line, Aztecs controlled their own fate, came up short. Here's Lewis on the loss that knocked the Aztecs out of the title game and why a bowl still means plenty.
The wound's still fresh from New Mexico, and tip of the cap to Coach Eck and his staff and the year that they had, man. That was tremendous, right? But, I look at that tape, and there's a lot of things that we can control. And again, great win by them. Great job by them. But, there's a half dozen plays that if we align properly, if we communicate better, if I take a time out to save us and do my job better, damn, right? What's that look like? So as that thing scars over, I'll carry that scar with pride. The way that I carry all my scars with pride, Yeah, we're all in a different place with it. right now. But again, I think the opportunity to play again needs to sharpen our focus. It needs to, be fuel to the fire, and can't wait to find out who the next opponent is, when it is. Because again, I think we're all just a little bit better with some purpose and some intent and knowing what that next thing is.
Come Sunday, the Aztecs will know what their next thing is so they can start prepping for the opponent, take aim at that 10-win season. All the juice the Aztecs need at this point. There are many on the roster now who haven't had a shot at that or a bowl game. On the topic of recruits and the new era of the TP in college football, Louis calls this 2026 class the best he's ever signed at San Diego State. A smart group with supposedly the highest cumulative GPA in program history. 17 of the signees are multi-sport athletes. The group also includes 12 mid-year guys who will be on campus in January, ready to roll. It helps to point to a 9-3 season so that those weighing offers from elsewhere can see what Coach Lou's Aztec Fast program offers. Lots of California kids in the group. They include local two-way star Carson Deal from La Jolla High. Caught a few of his games in recent years. Sure-handed receiver, staying home after shining at the Aztecs passing camp. There's a Texas speedster, Derek Stevenson, third in the state, 100 meters, who is a receiver. Running back Josiah Lewis, a strong kid from a powerhouse program. And on defense, Aztecs signed 3 edge rushers so far and 3 linebackers, including a junior college player, Jeremiah Lewis, and safeties like Hawaii's Tanoa Lave. These are all guys who supposedly possess both athleticism and character, but will need time to develop.
It's our first Pac-12 class, right? And so that's exciting with the future and the direction of the program. We beat out multiple Power 4 programs for a lot of our signees. The majority of these players held other offers, from our future conference foes. So winning head-to-head recruiting battles is crucial.
The TP looms as an ever-present Bigfoot on all the kids coming in. Louis views high school kids as still the core, but these days, any FBS coach has to treat the TP as the NFL treat free agency. If there are exact holes to fill right away, they will get filled. There seems to be an appropriate sense of urgency with the Aztecs joining the new Pac-12. Though the big boys in the autonomous groups have yet to decide if or when there will be an expansion in the playoffs. Still, there is no reason why the Pac-12 champion can't be included in the tournament if their performance merits. While Louis called his class a top 60 group, it was based more upon a few others still out there who have yet to commit. ESPN does not include the Aztecs in their rating of the current top 75. The website 24/7 Sports lists the class at 72 at last check. Now, ESPN listed the following schools in its top 75 list: Boise State, Texas State, Washington State, Colorado State, and Fresno State. And surprisingly, ESPN listed the Sacramento State Hornets as having the 74th best class in the country in that listing that was published on Thursday. No mention of the Aztecs. But all the players throughout the country need to prove themselves on the field. The Aztecs' way in years past has been to bring in a passel of 3 stars with chips on their shoulders for not being rated higher and to prove everybody wrong. There are enough Aztecs who've played in the NFL throughout the years to prove that's an added bit of motivation. Or as I like to say, a grudge can be a pretty heavy thing to carry through life. But sometimes you need to carry that weight around. It helps keep you in shape. Louis?
Steve, after giving up 108, 94, 80, and 91 points in consecutive games, the defense the Aztecs basketball team has been known for in the Steve Fisher, Brian Dutcher era returned to the delight of fans at Viejas Arena as the Aztecs defeated Utah Valley of the WAC 77-66. Aztecs hit the floor after a 10-day break against a Utah Valley team averaging 80-plus points a game. With Magoon Guath, Reese Dixon Waters, and Miles Bird all dealing with the flu the past few days, Coach Brian Dutcher had to get creative with his substitutions, and his bench responded, accounting for 59 of the Aztecs' 77 points. at 77%. It's the highest percentage of bench points in a game since the 96-97 season. Just 7 games into the season, this Aztecs team is relying heavily on its bench for scoring. At 42.3 points per game, that is the 4th in the nation in bench scoring. This was a coming-out game for freshman Simmons, who scored a career-high 15 points and matched a career best with 7 rebounds. And off-the-bench spark plug B.J. Davis scored 18 points and hit double figures for a 5th consecutive game. Farrell Compton also played well with 12 points, logging a career-high 22 minutes and matching career best with 3 blocks and 2 steals. Coach Brian Dutcher says he was happy with the defensive effort and contributions off the bench.
There goes part of our 59 points off the bench today. Scored 77 and 59 off the bench. 3 double-digit scores off the bench. Farrell, Tay, and BJ. So Bird got 2 IVs before the game today. Didn't practice for 2 days, was sick. So he tried to come in and gut it out, play hard. Heidi obviously went down, got undercut, fell on his back, so we couldn't use him. So that's where our depth paid off for us. You know, we had the depth to endure injuries, endure illness, and still find a way to come out with a win. We fought. I mean, we held a team to 66 points. How about that? So that's pretty good. And we put in a game plan. We changed our ball screen coverage for this game. And for 3 days we worked on it. We did a good job executing. I think our defense set the tone for their offense. They weren't running smooth at a lot of the things they did. That was a credit how we defended them. And then we made a couple late game adjustments, and we were able to follow those too. So we're making progress. But I told them, we're not going to practice any different whether we win or lose. Practice is practice, and we have to get better. And I'm not that guy. I tell them, am I any different after a loss than I am after a win? No. I just come steady every day, and we have a steady program because we just work to get better. There's no highs and lows. Although we're disappointed when we lose, we're able to put it behind us quickly and move on to the next game because you don't want to sit there, like Tay said, and dwell on Troy. We all know Troy was if we beat Troy and then we lose 2 in Vegas, we're like, oh, wow, okay, well, Michigan beat everyone by 40. We beat Oregon, and then we were ahead against Baylor in the second half, competitive game, and everything's fine. But the Troy loss just magnifies everything. So it puts more pressure to win games, and that's a good thing. At some point in the season, you're going to feel pressure. So we were feeling a little bit early, trying to get our team better. And whether the outcome of these games change or not, we have to get better. We know that. And I thought we made a step in the right direction today.
While the Aztecs, who were favored by 9.5, won by 11, this was a 3-point game with 3:20 left. The Aztecs had numerous opportunities throughout the game to blow this one open, but to Utah Valley's credit, they always battled back. Twice in the first half, the Aztecs went long stretches without scoring. That includes the ends of the first half. With 3:12 left, the Aztecs led 33-20, but they went cold, and the Wolverines, thanks to a 12-0 run at the end of the half, cut the halftime lead to just 1 at 33-32. They were very opportunistic, turning just 4 Aztecs turnovers into 12 points. Here are comments from B.J. Davis and Simmons after the game.
He was fantastic, for a freshman to be doing what he's doing. I think his ceiling is incredible. So he's an amazing player, and for him to be this young is phenomenal.
I mean, I knew it was going to happen. I mean, I'm very excited that Goon is back, but I knew as a freshman that my minutes were going to cut back, and I was fine with that. Like, my mentality is just whatever the team needs me to do to win, and that's what I'm going to do. Like, whether it's, I don't know how many minutes I played tonight, but whether it's, 2 minutes, 10 minutes, like whatever time I'm out there, I'm just going to play my hardest, and that's what's going to get me on the court.
I think they just were very resilient. They kind of stuck through it the whole way and made some big shots, and they have good facilitators that was getting to the rim and drawing to and making those little inside entry passes, so that was giving us a little confusion, but they stayed together and they kept fighting through it all. So yeah, definitely. We just have to be more organized. They jumped into the press and we weren't ready for it at the time, and we weren't organized. We'd have a call for it, so just little things like that we got to tighten up.
Steve, Coach Dutcher took advantage of the new replay rule that allows the coach to challenge questionable calls on the floor. He did it twice in the second half. One was a block call on Taj DeGorville, and the second came with 4:41 left in the second half on an out-of-bounds call And he was successful on both.
When you lose a couple games, you say, well, are they going to give in? Or are they going to fight through and get a win? And they fought through and got a win. And how about Coach Dutcher? 2-0 on the challenges today, huh? So I won 2 today. So that's unbelievable. I'm yelling at the guys behind the bench. What's a replay look like? They finally I gave in, just said, okay, we'll challenge it anyway. So it's basketball is hard. I mean, every win is so important, and losses can happen anywhere to anybody. So winning games is hard. So we got to enjoy it when we win one, and we're going to enjoy winning. It's still replay. You saw what I did. I tried to throw a sub in to get more time to see if they saw anything. Then I put another sub in, I don't even know if I wanted subs in, but I'm trying to delay the start of the game so I can get the managers or the GAs to look on the pad to see if they can see what really happened. And eventually, I never got a response, and I was challenging anyway at this point. I think there was 3 or 4 minutes to go.
Aztecs have another week off before their next game at home against Lamar on Wednesday, before hosting Air Force in the first conference game of the season the following Wednesday. The early season metrics aren't kind to the Aztecs in their effort to get an at-large bid to the NCAA tournament. In the first net ranking released this week, the Aztecs were 127, but ranked 72 spots higher in the KenPom index at 55. And with the Utah Valley win, they jumped in both, rising to 48 in KenPom and 101 in the net ranking. So, Steve, what does it all mean? Well, we all know what has to happen. The Aztecs have to keep winning.
There he is with that Schmetrics stuff again. I look at it this way. Both football, basketball have more games to focus on, and once that's done, there is that great race with all of your fellow rats in the maze trying to get to that big hunk of cheese first. So, Louis, why don't you say goodbye to all those nice people out there while I take this opportunity to get a head start on you? Okay, consonants, bye.
Okay, thanks for listening to Aztecs All In. We appreciate it. Please follow or subscribe wherever you listen to your favorite podcast. You can also follow us on the X, Aztecs_all_in, for late-breaking Aztecs news.
There's someone right now. Is that late-breaking Aztecs news?
Late-breaking Aztec news.
I've already got a 100-yard head start on you. Flap ahead. Go ahead.
You could also write to us, aztecsallin@gmail.com. So until next time. No, we're going to have to stop this. Sorry. Hello? Hi, we can confirm yes.
All right. You take care of that, Louis. You know what that was? That was my 3rd or 4th AI chatbot phone call, just so I could get a little bit extra head start on you in that rat race.
Yeah, we actually still have a home phone. Why, I don't know. But
for just such emergencies, that's why.
That's right. Please follow or subscribe, again, wherever you listen to your favorite podcast, and you could drop us a line, aztecsallin@gmail.com. So until next time, for Steve Perez, I am Louis Weiner. So long.